You know, I I can only go by what I've heard that Spence is kind of did some damage to Crawford before when they sparring and stuff like that. A long time when he was sparring with Floyd, and he had the accident, but it looked like he jumped back. You know, I think that it's gonna be he's too patient for he might be too patient for Crawford. Like too patient, he's too long, he's too tall. He's in the ring with big guys all the time, getting banged up and hit. Like in Houston, like Jamal Charlo, uh, Lara. I mean, he's in the ring with all kind of champions that are around his weight class. They're good, and they're bigger. So I think that he will be able to withstand a upper fight, uh, especially at 54. But 47 might be a little harder because it's a drain a little weight. But I don't know. I mean, Crawford is a great fighter, and Crawford has more of a mentality when he gets in the ring and fights like I did. I just think that's going to be harder for him to fight with a guy he's been in the ring with before. They both know each other. They both know what's going on. And, I think Errol knows how to stay on that jab and just keep him at bay, keep him lunging, keep him trying to get in. It's not gonna be an inside fight. He's not gonna be a chance to get in there and throw those big shots like somebody smaller or, around his weight or that doesn't box like Errol does. Errol is like a boxer. He's a boxer puncher. It can win. It's 50-50, but I just kind of lean a little bit towards Spence because of their history and because, he doesn't have anything to like. It's not like, I got to watch out for this trick shot, that trick shot, because he knows, So I think the boxer is going to be able to maybe outbox him and keep him at bay and, make it hard for Crawford to get in. He's going to be getting around a lot of that stuff, I think. But at the other side, I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford, catches him with one of them haymakers and, puts him down. But that could happen too. It's a great fight.
And those are the words of Sugar Shane Mosley as he unloads, reveals that Errol Spence once upon a time sparred with Terence Bud Crawford. And he said that Errol Spence did some damage to him when they did spar. And this is back when Errol Spence was sparring Floyd Mayweather. And we know the story of Floyd. Floyd said that Errol gave him all he could handle. Let me counterpunch. According to Shane Mosley, the way he's explaining it, it's as though because he knows Terence Crawford, he will know all the tricks. He will know what to look for. He will know what to do, what not to do in the ring. And he's kind of implying that Terence Bud Crawford, yeah, he's the smaller guy, but he's trying to bring up similarities to Mikey Garcia. If you guys can remember that fight, Mikey couldn't get in. He was just too small, the mighty Badger. He couldn't do what he normally does because Errol Spence is just too big. Now, we know the size difference. Everybody will come up with, hey, he's just too big. But now, sparring Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, once in the ring, I honestly don't believe that. Not saying they didn't spar. I'm not saying that. But I don't think he hurt Terence Crawford. And that was a long time ago when Terence Crawford was a lot smaller. However, okay, look at it like this. If Errol Spence damaged Terence Bud Crawford when they sparred, don't you think that he would have mentioned that? They had two press conferences, one in California, the other one in New York. And they talked about the big fish, catching the big fish, reeling the big fish in. I'm the big whale. Nothing about sparring whatsoever. And you know, if there was any type of ammunition that Errol Spence could use, he would have used that. He would have said, hey man, you know I whooped you in sparring back in the day. He didn't say that, did he? No. Because I don't think that happened. And what I mean, I don't think that happened. I don't think he damaged Terence Crawford. Sparring is fighting to me. So this is very important. This is huge news to me. Because I'm looking at Errol Spence, boxer puncher, the way Sugar Shane Mosley explained it. He's been in there with bigger guys. He knows different styles. Edislandi Lara, Jermel Charlo. Those guys are very talented. However, the question is, are they as talented than Terence Crawford? And I just don't see it like that. I don't agree with Shane Mosley. I think, if anything, the counterpuncher will be the one that is the matador, and Errol Spence will be the bull. Okay? He will come in, marking his authority, putting the stamp down, getting in heavy shots, breaking down Terence Crawford, and beating him up. I think that's his game plan. I don't think he's doing anything out of the ordinary. Now, I did hear Derek James say, well, I don't really have a game plan for Terence Crawford. Now, this was back in the day. Obviously, they have one now. But I just don't think Terence Crawford is that one-dimensional that he can't get inside. And in fact, I don't think he has to get inside. I think Errol Spence will take the fight to him. He knows what he knows. And what he knows, he's very good at. That's Errol Spence up and down all day long. Okay? So Sugar Shane is comparing himself to Terence Crawford. He has a fighter mentality. I think Terence Crawford, he fights when he needs to fight. I think he fights when you land a good shot. He knows the answer to that shot that you gave him. He gives you one back. Matter of fact, he gives you 2 or 3. He's a finisher. And looking at Errol Spence, though, Terence Crawford, this is such an intriguing fight because you got 2 guys that's never been beat. Terence Crawford is moving up in weight like greats do, like Floyd, Money Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Shane Mosley. I can go down the list. And I think Terence Crawford, if Errol Spence got the best of Terence Crawford in sparring, I just think Terence Crawford is better. But if he did such an impact, if he beat up on Terence Crawford, damaged him, how Shane explained it, I think he would have mentioned it. I think it would have been worth mentioning. In fact, I think he would have went with that. He would have brought up that old history lesson, that old sparring session. He would have said, you know what? I got you already. I took it to you. I damaged you at a young age. Now, he did bring up the car accident, but I don't think that matters. I think Errol Spence went right into tough fights because he wanted to prove that he was still the man. So I don't think that really matters. And if we're going to bring up the car wreck, we got to bring up the bullet to the head that Terence Crawford received. Okay? So both of these guys are somewhat of miracle men when it comes to outside the ring. Okay? True milagro. Miracle. Okay? And I just don't believe Sugar Shane again. But it's very interesting to hear that. I've never heard Terence Crawford ever sparred with Errol Spence. I would like some feedback. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV for revealing what Shane Mosley said about Errol Spence. You guys tell me what you think again. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.